And we're on. We've started.
5 more minutes.
So we're going to introduce ourselves.
Up to you. Start.
Alright, well, I'm JD the Ender, and we're just going to be talking about stuff that we like. Tonight, it's going to be Game of Thrones, and if we have the time for it, Final Fantasy VII, the remake. Yeah. But our mission here is to give you the experience of hanging out with a cool group of friends that you never met before, that you might want to meet. I've got a lot of reptiles, just so that you know a little bit of things about me. I am a classic gamer enthusiast, with the exception of any current game from Software. And I probably have way too many Batman comics, more than the average grown man should have.
What number is that?
Well, I can tell you like how much I've spent.
Average grown man.
Like I've spent.
Oh.
No, I've probably I've got everything. I've got everything from, I want to say, Nightfall to.
I love that book, by the way. Wow, you actually just.
Yeah. Nightfall all the way to. I want to say I don't remember what it's called. It's the one where he comes back through time after the Omega Beam from the Final Crisis.
No idea.
It's really weird. He becomes his own grandfather, and he starts off like
Fry or what? Fry from Futurama?
I'd say more like Stewie from that episode where him and Brian created the space-time continuum. I haven't seen the episode with Fry though.
Dude. Spoiled it. His own grandpa.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what Bruce did, Batman. I'm gonna actually look it up. We're at my computer, so.
Let me borrow the Long Halloween.
Dude, that is such a good one. Such a good one.
Was good.
I think it's The Return of Bruce Wayne. Yeah. Yeah, it's The Return of Bruce Wayne. It's where he starts off with Neanderthals. So he's he's got I don't know, he's got wolf skins on it first, but he still tries to make it look like a bat. I mean, it's been so long since I've read this, but he basically is Batman throughout history. And one of his proteges is man, he's still alive. He's trying to communicate with us. And everyone else is bro, you're tripping. What are you talking about? He's no, man. Bruce is alive. It was my favorite one, actually. Tim Drake. Yeah. Anyways, I've actually got all of the 52 stuff as well. I just haven't touched it because I liked where they were going with it, and then the Joker cut his face off, and it's a little too creepy.
I've seen that part too.
It's a little too creepy for me.
Transition into Game of Thrones.
Yeah, we do. We got a little off topic there. So just some really classic memes that you got here. I like the Jack Sparrow one.
The internet.
I didn't see that one, dude. Jaime Lannister's Kingslayer level is so high. He tried to kill the king 8 seasons ago. That's a good one.
I got spoiled.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I was being dumb. I got on the internet. I went to Reddit. Reddit that got me, not Facebook. I went to all. I went to all. All. I'm just like, I'm just gonna go to all. You know,
yeah.
tags. The tags to like the title was like John stabs Daenerys,
Oh man.
the king. I was like, no. I
I gotta say, so just to recap, like what we were talking about before we watched the episode. I totally got what I wanted to see. Like whether it was good or not, I still got the thing that I wanted to see. That was John and Ghost like reuniting. Although I am curious, like before he sent Ghost up
missed an
north,
ear.
what? See, yeah, dude, I don't remember him missing an ear. Like, what was that about? Because that bothered me.
Like John, King of the North.
He's king of the north, bro. He was leaving with all.
Advanced Raider.
Yeah,
King beyond the
basically,
wall.
he's the king beyond the wall. He's still the king. It's good to be the king.
Guys, I'm thinking of never mind. No. Then else. I didn't. Some cool scenes. Like who doesn't like a finale episode? It's nice.
Yeah,
But that's just all this whole season felt like. It's like then like 3 or 4 finale episodes, and the other episodes just try to connect them together.
they didn't do very good connecting them together.
I mean, like at least like
Yeah,
that one. I love that meme of the guy telling the story in Spanish and he's just laughing. And he's like, the greatest threat to Westeros lasted one night. One night.
I gotta say, like the more I think about it, like the more I feel the Night King was robbed. Like he didn't get what was due for him. Like they built him up since episode one, dude.
I
Since episode one, they've been
in
building this
Winterfell.
dude up. Yeah, like, and then all of a sudden,
Made it from the wall to Winterfell.
yeah, like
Nobody's
he
even gonna believe him that shit happened.
no one's gonna like no one that was there like isn't gonna believe it, like what happened, which is what's so
I'm saying
ridiculous
like
about it.
White all the way to King's Landing and like dumped it on the floor. But like, how many people saw that shit?
Well, a lot of the
People
people that saw it are dead, actually. If you think about it, like, because they all went,
Nobody's gonna believe like the greatest threat to Westeros like happened.
yeah. No, no one will believe it at all. But I gotta say, like, one of my favorite memes I saw today. Uh, I'm gonna go find it again. It was about Sansa and her uncle, and
Yes, dude, I was actually just thinking about that.
it was Jules from Pulp Fiction. It says like Edmure Tully breathes, and Sansa's like, I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing. She was so condescending to her uncle, though. He was, like they were like,
Like that.
who's gonna be the king? Who's gonna step up? And he actually like stepped up. He was like, well, like let me make a case here. And then she's just like, Uncle, that's very nice. Have a seat. Just I don't. She kind of reminded me of Cersei when she did that.
And she's kind of been around a bunch of
Yeah. So I'm looking
people
at
by the land, not raised, but
yeah. I mean, so if you think about it, like all of these other people have been in the middle of this game for a lot longer than him. For him to just like come in and be like, oh,
I don't know, like. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
well, that's what we're
But, yeah,
that's what we're
pictures of what
here to talk about, though.
pictures of what George R. R. Martin like concept art for the Iron Throne.
Nah,
Power and Hobbs.
did you send that just now?
No.
I didn't really like this season, honestly. Like the more I sit and think about it, it's like one of those. It's just like
There's stuff to like. It just doesn't make any fucking sense.
it really doesn't. So like let's some you said something earlier that kind of makes it make sense though, right? Like they tried to force. I guess since it's season 8, like we'll say 3 seasons because it's like season 8, 9, and 10, right? Like HBO gave them 10 seasons, 10 episodes each to finish it up, and what we ended up getting was like those 3 seasons condensed into 6 episodes, like you were saying.
I think a lot of people. I'm looking at this meme right now. Council knew what the fucking three-eyed raven was.
Right, like how did they know? Like it makes sense that I mean, I mean Samwell was there, right? So like he probably could like speak a little bit. There you go. The fuck is a three-eyed raven? Um Tyrion knew what it was. I mean, but Tyrion read a lot. Like every time you saw Tyrion in this series before he like started getting shipped around as like a slave or whatever, like or I guess that's kind of what they were hinting at, I think, where he was going to be sold into slavery like in the book, you know?
On the boat.
Yeah. Like he
Yeah.
he stopped reading at that point.
You know, him and Bran talk in battle.
Yeah. I remember him saying like I want to hear about you. I want to hear what you've been up to since we last spoke. But he's the only person. You know what I mean? Like Sansa did like we don't ever see him sit down and like, "Listen, Sansa, I need to tell you something. You know, the reason why I've been acting so fucking weird recently." You know what I mean? Like they never had that conversation. We never saw it. We never had any like inkling or indication that they had that conversation. Bran.
What are you talking about?
Well, just kind of what we're talking about right now, like how everyone knows
Bran.
what the three-eyed raven is. You know what I mean? Like, because all we've seen everyone this entire season.
You also never saw Jon tell Arya so that he was Targaryen.
Yeah. You know what didn't make sense to me though?
It's implied that he told him.
Like, why the fuck didn't Drogon kill Jon? Like, he smelled the blade.
Yeah.
He kind of nudged her, and then his whole like response is like, "Fuck this throne." Like, let me just melt the throne. Like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, was he doing the last thing that she was thinking? Like, they don't really build on that either. Like, do they have like some sort of psychic connection? Right. Like, Jon should have died. I went into this episode completely expecting him to die. Like, it would, you know, I was thinking it. That's why I was saying, like, it would have been nice if we could see him in Ghost again. But, you know, like, I was thinking maybe he would warg into Ghost, and that would be like the one time we'd see him warging, or. But no. I don't know. One thing I do like though, I'll just go over the things that I liked. I like that Braun. It's a good one. I like that Braun got what he wanted finally. Like he finally got paid.
Highgarden.
Yeah, because dude's been through so much shit because of the Lannisters, and every time he'd get thrust into more bullshit, he was getting promised something else by another Lannister that they never paid. You know, like you never see a Lannister actually repay their debt, and all they talk all that shit like a Lannister always pays their debt, but we never see them pay their debt until like literally the last episode, and it's not even all of them; it's just Tyrion. So if you think about it, the Iron Bank is like bankrupted even because they were all betting on the Lannisters winning. That was Cersei's whole thing. That's why she was so nonchalant about how much they spent and how in debt they were. Because no matter what happened, no matter who tried to usurp the throne, like the Iron Bank isn't going to get paid if another usurper comes in and just like starts a new account, basically.
What else did you like?
I liked that I got to see Ghost and Jon reunite, even though it doesn't make sense that Jon lived. I liked, a lot of people talk shit about this, but I really like that Arya killed the Night King. Because that's like one of the few times we actually see the Three-Eyed Raven like fulfilling his purpose. Like we don't really know like what he does beyond what they show us, right? And they don't really go into very much detail when that's happening. It's just like, oh, he's doing his thing again. It's kind of like Neo in the Matrix, right? It's like, oh, okay, he's just kind of doing his Superman thing. Well, it's just like, oh, Brand's just doing his three-eyed raven thing, whatever that is. I also liked. I liked that Cersei died. I liked how she died. She felt safe and secure in the Red Keep, and then all of that just literally like caved in on her.
I mean, after a certain point, I'm sure she's probably nervous. Yes.
Yeah,
We're Tully.
I do. I like the scene when did Drogon kind of feel like Alduin to you? Or nah?
Who?
Alduin? So like one of the things that I've been doing while I've been watching the show is kind of comparing and cross-referencing the like the similarities between Game of Thrones and Skyrim. Because it's there. Like Skyrim is heavily influenced by the Song of Ice and Fire novels.
Sure, it's not the other way around.
What do you mean? What you think
So
is
the Skyrim
is taking him so long to write a write Winds of Winter because he's sitting back playing Skyrim.
Chicken. I wish I knew how to say any of the shouts right now. I like you spot.
Hold up. I mean, they have like a similar backstory, right?
What?
Ron. There's one.
I mean,
Mir. Ta.
like go back.
A little bit.
Here, I got one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess that's not the correct quote, but you know what line it's referring to. I can tell a killer when I see one. I know a killer when I see one. Arya, we just saw her burn a whole city down. We all know she's a killer.
Yeah. Yeah, like
sound cool. What do you think about that?
I think it was them trying to, because we didn't really see her use any of her abilities, which is one of the reasons why I was so excited about her killing the Night King. Honestly, right? Because like she's this assassin, and she's been trained to like,
Got used their training.
yeah, she's been trained to be like an assassin for God, basically, right? By like God, for all we know, and we the only time we get to see her really put any of it to good use is when she kills the Night King. Because everyone's complaining like, oh, she just teleports out of nowhere. It's like, well, she is a faceless man, like faceless woman, girl. I don't know, a faceless assassin.
Got killed Lord Frey with their magic.
I mean, that was pretty cool, but we didn't really get to see a lot of that. It was just like 15, like maybe not even 15, like 5 minutes on the way to.
Shit. Just saying that they reference to it being supernatural.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, magic property, You see it, like, is there? I don't think she uses it after that, yeah?
No, we don't see her use it anymore after that. Which is kind of.
Did you remember her fight with Wade? They were doing the run, where they were doing the chasing each other through the city.
Which city?
Where she did her training at, right before she heads back to Westeros.
No. Wait, is that chick with the staff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Training with.
Yeah.
So she goes to kill her. Like she's just running and hiding throughout the city. And she's doing like this crazy fucking like free jumping shit. Like she jumps out of tall buildings and stuff. That's a pretty dope character.
Yeah, Arya is one of my favorite characters.
I don't think people. I don't know if I like. Here's for me personally. Like, it goes back to like they're just putting up set pieces and like making them happen because like it doesn't. Arya fucking killed the Night King. I guess I'm upset that it all happened in like one episode. Like I don't really.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean I get what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying where you're saying like they set up like basically one episode a season and then they tried to close out each episode with the last 3 episodes, you know what I mean? So like they opened up the problems for each of the I guess the threads they were starting. They were doing all of their threading in like episodes 1 through 3, and then like the climax was in 4 through 6.
It doesn't make sense.
Nah.
It's cool to see, but it doesn't fucking make sense.
Like Daenerys going batshit like that just wasn't earned. Like I'm sorry, like her most trusted advisor.
Like, oh, it could have paid off even better.
And it's like
one more time to like for that would have been awesome.
fucking. Oh, she lost a dragon. She lost her best friend. Like, okay. Like, John, put a ring on it. You know? Like, I don't know. There were so many solutions there. And, like, if you think about, like, one of the things that really pissed me off about episode 5 is they shoot Viserys with such precision so fast. Like, they put, like, 3 bolts in him before he can even hit the water. He's a pretty big motherfucker, not as big as Drogon, right? And then like they can't even like scratch Drogon. Like, oh well, it's because she's a dragon rider and blah blah blah. Well, it's just not there, bro. But you know what they could have done to solve that? They could have made her attack at night, because they wouldn't have seen that. He's a black dragon.
you know?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I take issue with that too. Like they fucking wrecked the shit out of her Billy Dragon. It was like, oh, this automatically stopped being awesome.
Yeah. And I mean, like, they could have even played it up to, like, Euron. I feel like that would have been good too. But nah.
For
Um,
Daenerys, she was my mother. She was the woman who liberated us. We called her.
Khaleesi.
Checking memes and stuff.
Hold up. I'm getting some screenshots for when we like add this to YouTube. We'll have like some, people can see the memes that we're laughing at while they listen to the video. If you think about it though, like it was actually tactically a really good idea for Daenerys to like torch King's Landing because of all that. What do they call it? Dragon fire, dragon flame.
I
The
did see some of that.
Because there was like a lot of that blowing up, like and it wouldn't have been anything for one of Cersei's followers to just go like light it up.
At a certain point, like all she had to do was take out the things like dragons.
Yeah, that's true. I knew as soon as he started sweet talking her what was gonna happen.
Yeah, weird.
I don't see why she didn't see it though. I don't know. Like one of the things that I think kind of messed it up for them in her arc is I think there was too much going on. They were trying to get too much to get the point across. They tried to have too much, like, oh, there's this love affair. She's well, it's not really an affair, but like this tryst between her and her nephew, and she doesn't care about it, obviously, right? Like she's made her feelings really, and that's supposed to be like one of the things. It's like a knife twisting in her back, and then like. So you see her like have this like feeling, right, like this emotion, but then like what they're showing us is her being cold and heartless and emotionless. You know what I mean? Like it's just real. It's not consistent. There's no consistency to her character. Really, there's not any consistency to anyone's character except
Because
for
like
like,
she's just like, because after that she's no longer like rational.
yeah,
It's fucking. I'm really used to seeing her act that way. It's like even. I don't know. Either way, but it seemed like. For her to sit in the madness could have like that. I guess like this guy was gonna be like a plane, you know? Like I feel like this was a cop out just to tie up the stuff. Like being like, yeah, it doesn't make any fucking sense. But, like it's cool. You get to see all the things that you wanted to see, but like it's I don't know. I think it also kind of suffers from that.
yeah. I mean,
You know,
it's a
it is
good
what it is.
build up to it though. You know what I mean? Oh, what was it? Was it How I Met Your Mother? When they had the drum roll date, they do like everything but kiss. Like where they're about to kiss is supposed to be the end of the date. So like everything building up to that is just so like perfect and like you can tell they're falling in love with each other, but then they end it like before the kiss, and that's when they're not supposed to ever see each other again. I think it was How I Met Your Mother, and that's kind of how like this series is, because like the first time I saw this series, it was not anything like I'd ever seen before. It was literally like Lord of the Rings didn't have shit on it. You know, I mean, like the books for sure, yeah. No, sorry, no. Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. Yeah, no. Game of Thrones. That's a good one. I like that. Yeah. Pointy. Also pointy. Let me get rid of all this shit. No, Game of Thrones though. I'd never seen anything like Game of Thrones, you know, and like it was 2 seasons in when you told me about it. And I'd grown up watching stuff on HBO, you know, like HBO was the thing that was in our house like all the time. It's where I learned about sex. Like I thought that was cheese. That was so cheese. It was it was too much. We got another one. Cool. Cool. I didn't get you.
Season 1. Huh?
Oh, you kind of cut out there. Oh, dude.
Oh.
Dude.
Yeah,
What is that from? We didn't never see that. You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of the armor in his dreams from the books. When he's standing on top of the wall, I think it's before he dies. It's the last dream he has before he dies. He's standing on top of the wall, except that armor is supposed to be made out of ice, and it's red and black, and he's got his sword. He's talking about his sword. You don't remember what I'm talking about?
I don't recall it. I don't know, man. Yeah, let's get back to your saying about like how you never seen anything about it. Like, because that's the same thing to me. Like, it's the reason like season 1 is kind of like dragged out because they're like introducing a lot of like characters and fucking backstory detail.
Yeah.
That's really good. Like, I really like enjoyed it all the way up to about the end of season 6. Maybe it's 6, maybe it's 5, but they blow up the 7th Halo.
I think it's 5.
Like, it's just been kind of less enjoyable. Like, I don't know, like, most really thrown at you pretty fast.
Yeah. You know what I think they stopped doing? And I think it's because they feel like they didn't have to do it anymore. But, like, anytime you're doing something like this, like, it's always really important that you don't lose that. Because that's what makes the show what it is, the world building. They stopped doing the world building. Like, that's why it seems like everyone's teleporting around. That's why it doesn't have that same feel before. You know, like, sure, yeah, okay, we see, like, you traumatized us with the death of millions of people living in King's Landing, but that was when they were being murdered was the first time we saw them, like, in a couple of seasons. Like, I think the last time they really had that kind of feel was when Cersei had to do her walk of shame. You know that wasn't actually her, the actress?
No, I did not know that.
That was a body double, and then they like superimposed her head onto the body double for that scene. So she was like doing all the expressions and stuff still, but that was like all. What would you say your favorite like episode slash thing about the whole series is, though.
The thing about this series is fucking stories involved.
Yeah.
Consequences. Especially Ellen's. Lady Stoneheart. Yeah. Read the scenes of that character.
Man, I really wish they would have, like, built her up more.
Eyes zombie come back and he's still like dead in the books. No, the fucking White Walkers are fucking intense. So like that's what I'm really hopeful for the book. I hope like what if like the long night lasts like a fucking years?
I mean, that's how that's described whenever old Nan is talking to Bran about it.
What if they make it all the way to King's Landing? Oh, there's some cool stuff. The Night King's gonna get his due. Look. Night King even introduces like a character firmly in the books? I don't know.
He's not what they have in the show. No, he's it's actually the Night's King. It's plural. Yeah. It's not the same character though. Like
I know Jamie's fucking character arc is different. Fuck.
I'm kind of hoping it's good though. Like he
Great.
I don't
Phenomenal.
it'll come out. It'll just come out when the sun blacks out.
Not fair. That's so much time now.
I definitely want to do like a rewatch of the whole series, like through and through, just to see it all as like one. You know, like so. I don't know. Part of me hopes that I won't be as biased as I am about how. 'Cause I don't know, man. Like I don't know. Like with a lot of media nowadays, I'm noticing this trend where like I'm okay with it when I first watch it, you know. I don't even have to go back and watch it again. I just kind of have to just like sit and think about it and mull it over a little bit, you know, and just kind of take it in. And the more I do that, the more I realize, like, man, they just missed opportunity. Could have been a little bit better,
Yeah.
you know. Like this is, you know, oh well, they could have done that, you know. Like the thing I was saying, like where uh, they could have made episode 5 happen at night. You know what I mean? Or like let's see a little bit of a reason to be attached to these people that are human with us and like us and just part of this struggle and caught up in this Game of Thrones that, you know, they're casualties of war. But we don't really see that. Like we kind of see with that woman and her daughter that Arya was trying to help, right? But like they didn't do anything to humanize the people of King's Landing, I guess is what I'm saying.
Night King, Night Watch.
I I really don't like how they treated that character. And there's like also their uncle. Like they didn't go into him anymore. Like he
Uncle.
yeah, they're oh, what's his name?
Night's Watch. Okay.
Yeah, the one that was in the Night's Watch that John was all like, "Oh, it's so good to see you," and then he saved Bran and Mira.
This is bad brother.
Yeah. And then where was Mira's dad? Cuz he was like Eddard's homie. Like they were friends. Mira and Jojen's dad, he's still alive. Like we haven't seen him die in the show. Howland Reed. Like he didn't show up for the long night, and he didn't show up for like the Battle of King's Landing. Like I don't know how he did that without being like murdered. Because the Lannister, like Cersei, was doing everything she could. One of the things that I really don't like about Cersei, like it would have made me like her if they had like been consistent. But when like Euron was all like, "I'm gonna have sex with the queen," you promised. She's like, if you want a whore, go buy one. If you want a queen, earn her. And then like 5 minutes later,
And then 5 minutes. Very nice. I have changed my mind.
yeah. That's a good one right there too. Yeah, man, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. Like I would have liked it if she'd have kept that. It did have good acting. It did.
It's not like that's the problem, you know?
No, like all of the actors were wonderful. The actors were great.
Stupid line.
I think
It's not the fucking.
I think Arya's line was the worst, honestly.
Yeah, that one, see, that sucked. Even that one's like not. It's not her fault.
No, no, like she's a good actress, but just the line wasn't there at all. It's like we just watched her massacre an entire fucking city of millions of people. Have you watched any of the interviews yet? Because like the internet's flooded with those now too. Like
I haven't.
before, it was just like a couple. You know what I mean? And now like you see like everyone's doing interviews, and it's just like, oh, I want to watch it, but I don't want to watch it. You know?
Check that out. Oh,
I can't say I'm too excited though. But you know what? Like maybe we'll get a treat. Maybe like he'll actually finish the like the books eventually, and then they'll redo they'll redo a more accurate, kind of like a Full Metal Alchemist kind of thing. It won't be the same actors, which will suck because I mean maybe some of them will still show up. You know, maybe Kit Harington will be Eddard. I'd like to see that. You know, when he's aged and scruffy and sexy, kind of like Sean Bean. Or no, I'd like to see it. See, I like that. That's one of the things I liked, that the where you see it looks like she has the wings, like Drogon is standing behind her. I did like that. That was like one of the best shots of this season. I feel.
I'm the one under that.
I am. I'm just getting these screenshots.
I knew you'd like that one.
Yeah.
It was carrying the final episode.
Oh, dude, totally. I mean, that was like one of the first things I said too, right? Like, man, talk about redemption.
Right.
Jamie had like such a good arc to redemption, and they just screwed it up. I mean, they put him in the White Book. It took forever to read what was written in the White Book about him. I had to like pause it because I was watching it on the HBO thing.
I was hoping that was good.
Ah, basically, it was he rode to the north to fight for all of humanity against the Night King and the undead alone.
It basically was the little keywords that popped up.
Yeah, and then after rode back to King's Landing and died protecting his queen. That's more or less what it said. that was also one of the things that I liked about the season was when he knighted her. I loved that, dude. I love that because like it showed that he respected her and like you saw how much he grew. You know, you saw a lot of that development going on in that part. And I like Tormund. I like Tormund like I'd knight you 12 times or whatever he said like he was just like hitting on her the whole time and she's just ignoring it. And then eventually he like stopped. That's a good one too.
I'm looking up this thing about seven oils.
Let's talk about how the North seceded.
I know. Last second. Oh, I real quick on it.
It's like nah.
What? Look, even more interesting. I was reading on Reddit. Like that's all this meme, and it reminded me. Daenerys gave the Iron Islands their independence.
Did she?
Public statement.
I guess she did. I know Yara said that. I think that's why she was like so pissed about it. About her dying.
Really be like the Five Kingdoms.
Yeah, it would. Fucking Euron, dude. I'm so like upset about him. He's so cool in the books. He's like a twisted, sick motherfucker in the books.
Yeah.
He's got like a necklace of tongues.
Oh man. What is with that black priest? Like black magic arts, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's fucking cool, man. I don't know what's going on with that.
I want him to summon like Cthulhu or like Yog Sothoth or like. It would be really.
Euron Greyjoy's. Like Cthulhu.
Dude, I would accept it. Like after what we got. Like he better not mess up the books, dude. I think that's what he's. Dude, you know what else bothered me? How did they fucking know that Jon killed Cersei? Like no one was there. No one witnessed it. Drogon flew off with her body in the opposite direction of where anyone was. Like, how did they know that he did it?
I'm honored.
You think he told him?
He just like stayed there. I don't know.
I mean, it's not like they have like. It's not like they have like.
They just took him.
But
kind of was a massive. Not Grey. Grey Worm was kind of a dick.
Grey Worm was totally a dick, but no, like it's not like they have any forensic kits to, you know, or like Dexter, like give Dexter a ring and he can just go do the like blood spatter analysis. Like, no, bro, like.
Who was ruling the kingdom after Daenerys died?
It seemed like Grey Worm. Grey Worm was pretty.
I guess the dragon destroyed the Iron Throne.
Yeah, I liked when Sam got up and he's like, "How about everyone else picks?" And everyone just like laughed.
First laugh.
Like, I mean, it's kind of true though. It's like it wouldn't really work because, I mean, most of the people, they're just kind of living, right? Like, I mean, I wouldn't be able to sit over there and be like, "Hey, let's pick someone to be king." Like, I don't know, man. After all that shit, like, let me just. You know what's kind of funny is like they played it out like, "I'm sorry, Jon, we couldn't get you to stay. We we couldn't make an alliance. No one would have it." Like he wasn't gonna stay, bro. You know, like the last time he talked to Tormund, that they were planning on him going back. You know, like. Yeah, they could have done more to show us like time passing though. Like, if they'd have shown us a little bit of, like, them rebuilding the city, you know? Or
That's
even,
true. Like because like the fucking fall was real.
yeah. Yeah, because they were sitting in that room where Arya and the Hound, like, had their little... You don't want this girl. You don't want... You don't want revenge. Even though that's, like, the one motivating factor that's driven you this entire series. Like... And then, like, why didn't anyone say, like, hey, Dany, we got an idea. Not only do we wait for the 3 bells to ring, but let's send Arya, who has the magic of the Faceless Men, in. Did we tell you what she did? She made a motherfucker eat his entire family, including his sons. Including... Let's send her in there. And then, you know, we could go fuck by the waterfall or something.
I mean,
Like,
what you mean? Like I don't think Arya can take her dragon. Opportunities. I think like the best opportunity. I don't know because there's people inside the buildings too.
yeah.
It would be a situation different than John's. So I don't think Arya could have like gotten past that dragon.
Well, I'm just talking about Cersei.
Seriously? Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you were talking about Danny. I see
Nah.
what you're saying though. Yeah, dude, seriously, that would have been.
Would have been perfect. And she'd already be paranoid, so it'd be easy for, like, Arya to get in there and, like... Yeah. I'm cool with Bran, though. Honestly, I will say that, too, because, like, in the books, it's... I mean, if you look at his, like, outline that people have found, and I don't know. I don't know how accurate they are, but... supposedly, the last chapter is supposed to end with Bran standing on a mountain somewhere, looking at some shit. So, like... I think that's probably, like, one aspect that might be true to, like, the books. I think Bran will probably end up being...
So, oh, you know that Valyrian steals through the armor?
Yeah.
That should have in the book. This guy says, my theory is that he didn't find, rediscovered how to make Valyrian steel. Just to consider, we now see Euron has magical power at his disposal beyond anything we've seen with them, the others. Euron is clearly magically talented. Euron clearly seems to be the best seen holy. Harvesting holiness? I don't know. I can see what they're getting at, but that's why we gotta wait and see, I guess.
Yeah. I didn't like... Oh, shit. Let's see. I don't... So, like... I want to segue for a second here. Because, like, I'm seeing a lot of hate against them with the Star Wars, right? Like, everyone's worried about them in Star Wars and them messing Star Wars up. So, I was discussing this with someone recently.
Bitching Game of Thrones.
Well, yeah, totally bitching about Game of Thrones. Like, but with the writers, right? They're also really concerned about, like, how they're going to treat Star Wars. And, like, if you think about it, they don't have a choice but to do good for Star Wars. Like, if they don't, their careers are over. Like, look at what Kathleen. Like, okay, I mean, I'm not gonna defend her. I'm not gonna say like she's perfect or whatever, but she is not afraid to fire people. And if for 1 second she like, if you don't think that they haven't learned their lesson, I don't know if you know about all that. I don't want to get into it right now. But there's a lesson for them to have learned, and if they haven't learned that lesson, then one of two things is going to happen. Star Wars is going to die, or they're going to they're going to fire D&D like halfway through the first movie. Cuz look at what happened with Solo. Like, they had two directors like working on Solo. They were like something like 70 to like 90% done with that film. And she fucking fired them and hired another director to start over again from square one. Like, but get this though, let's say they do fuck up. Let's say they fuck up and they don't have anything like that they like, that Lucasfilm likes. Then they're dead. Like, their careers are essentially dead. Like, they can't get bored with Star Wars like they did with Game of Thrones and just like, oh, well, fuck this. Like, their careers will be dead. Like, HBO's awesome, dude. Like, HBO, I grew up watching HBO. They had like the animated Spawn. They had, I don't know if they had any other animated shows I watched. They had this like documentary series called Real Sex, and they got into some interesting stuff there. There's that prison movie Oz, or not movie, it's a series. Oz, that was pretty good. Um, True
The
to
Sopranos.
Dude, yeah, The Sopranos were great. Um, there's more. There's more I'm not even thinking about, but HBO is awesome. And then they're never going to work with HBO again. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that they will. Not after what happened. Cuz what's even worse about like all of the backlash that's happening with this season and it being the series finale is everyone agrees about it. Like, it's not divisive to the point where like it's dividing the fans. Like, everyone agrees like it sucks. Like, everyone, even the critics. You know what I mean? That's bad. That's really bad. When everyone agrees that it's bad, that means it's bad. You know? So like, they're not ever going to work with HBO again. I don't think so. And they do that shit to Disney. Disney, bro. Disney owns like what? Like 60% of all of the industry when it comes to like film and series. Like, they own all of Hulu now. They own all of Hulu. They own Fox. I think the only really they don't own like Lionsgate and Sony. I want to say maybe Universal, but I don't think that's true because I think that's where uh, Avatar was, and they got Avatar now too.
Thrones finale had a water bottle left.
No, it fucking didn't, dude. Seriously.
Like a water bottle.
Oh, oh. I thought I saw that. I did think, because I was like, no, they didn't do that again, bro. They didn't do that again. But yeah, no, that was there. You know what I think of when I think of these dudes in this final series. Did you ever watch Jay and Silent Bob?
Hmm.
You know, when they were filming Good Will Hunting 2 and Silent Bob, and they're like, so less action, and he's like, God damn it, Ben, I'm counting my money. Can't you see that? Like, I feel like they were just bothered. It was like, because honestly, like, okay, the Starbucks cup, now a water bottle, like, that's not the actor's fault. Really, if you want to get down to it, it's the cameraman and the director. Like, it's the actor's jobs to deliver.
Gilbert J. Sono. Tyrion. People love stories, and no one has a better story than Bran. Arya.